Wait a minute guys, have you taken a look at that Galatasaray squad? The Turkish league is not one of the top 5 or even the top 7 leagues in Europe, so clubs in the league often get overlooked, but Galatasaray are forcing us to look these days. They're packing some actual stars which have turned them into real contenders in Europe's biggest competition. Today, we'll be taking a closer look at their team because this Galatasaray squad is pretty insane. First of all, their goalkeeper might not be a big name, but he's proving to be really good. They signed Ugurcan Çakir from Trabzonspor last summer, and he's proving to be a real asset for them already. He boasts the best save percentage, most goals prevented, and has conceded the fewest goals in the league this season. In the defense, they have Wilfried Singo, who is an African champion with Côte d'Ivoire and is already a top defender at 25. They just signed him for a reported €30 million last summer from AS Monaco. They also have Davinson Sanchez in the defense. This is a player who has experience playing for top clubs like Spurs and Ajax and has played in a Copa America final, having helped Colombia reach that point in 2024 for the first time in 23 years. For Galatasaray, he has always been solid and sometimes comes up with goals, just like he did in the Champions League playoff against Juventus. At the back, they also have Abdülkerim Bardakçı, who's in the top 10 for most aerial duels won in the Super League, and Roland Salai, who's in the top 10 for most ground duels won. These players are very solid and they make sure to give good cover to the goalkeeper. But despite already having a decent defense, the club wasn't satisfied with that, so they went and brought in Sacha Boey on loan from Bayern Munich in the summer. The Frenchman is a player who already knows the club, having played there between 2021 and 2024 before earning the big move to Bayern. He has now returned with more experience and better attacking instincts, which proved valuable in the game against Juventus. He came off the bench in that game and got a goal in about 10 minutes of play. And that goal turned out to be very important in the tie, because without it, Juventus would have knocked them out in the return leg. And I guess you could say that they have been super smart with their recruitment of late. But you see, the midfield is where things start to get even more interesting. But just before we get to that, if you aren't yet subscribed to the channel, go do that right away so you never miss out on our amazing content. Now, back to Galatasaray. Often at the base of their midfield is Mario Lemina. The 32-year-old comes with a lot of experience playing in the biggest leagues in Europe. He played in the French League 1 for Marseille and Nice, played in the Italian Serie A for Juventus, and spent years in the Premier League playing for Southampton, Fulham and Wolves. He even captained Wolves for a few months before he left the club to join Gala. Having previously played for Galatasaray on loan in the 2019-20 season, Lemina returned in February 2025, but this time on a permanent deal, and he has brought so much experience, energy and solidity. And of course, he has proven that he can be a goal scorer as well, having scored the goal which proved to be the winner in the round of 16 first leg game against Premier League champions Liverpool. Another familiar face in that midfield is Lucas Torreira. This is another player who has experience playing in top leagues around Europe. He played for Fiorentina in the Serie A, Atletico Madrid in La Liga, and of course Arsenal in the Premier League. He has been at Gala since 2022 and he has always been solid. He's a workhorse in that midfield and one that the club has found valuable over the years. But can we even talk about how much experience is in that Galatasaray midfield without mentioning İlkay Gundogan? He played and scored in the Champions League final for Dortmund back in 2013, and 10 years later, he actually went and won the trophy with Manchester City, captaining them to success in the competition that year. He also famously scored a brace in the FA Cup final, the first of which is the quickest goal in the history of FA Cup finals. And those goals helped Manchester City complete the European treble, becoming only the second team to do that in the history of English football. So he might not be playing regularly for Galatasaray right now, but he does bring a lot of valuable experience and a real winning mentality to the dressing room. And there are other less known players who have also contributed to that Galatasaray midfield. Yunus Akgün, for example, is in the top 10 for big chances created, while Gabriel Sara is in the top 5 for chances created in the Turkish top flight this season. Now, if you think Galatasaray's recruitment has been commendable, just wait until you see what they have done in the attack. First of all, they still have the OG Mauro Icardi, who is having something of a resurgence this season. He tore his ACL in 2024 and was out for basically the whole season. He only returned last year, but he is already showing some real levels. He is currently third in the list of highest goal scorers in the league, and he's doing that despite having limited minutes. When your backup striker is showing this much form in front of goal, that's definitely great news. And of course, Icardi is only a backup because of the big man up front, Victor Osimhen. The fact that he's in the team right now is evidence of the great recruitment Simbom have been doing over the last couple years. When Osimhen was on his way out of Napoli in 2024, Galatasaray didn't even seem to be on the radar, but they managed to get into the race and eventually secured the signing of the Nigerian striker over the likes of Chelsea and Manchester United, who also wanted him. At first he joined on loan, and everyone said that he would surely leave after 1 year. But the club managed to convince him to sign a permanent deal, which he did last summer. And well, of course, we can see his importance in the team. Osimhen is 4th for most goals in the Champions League this season and is one of the main reasons Galatasaray are in the round of 16 right now. He is also 6th for most goals in the Super League, and don't forget he already won the Golden Boot last season. Osimhen is in his prime right now and is easily one of the best strikers in the world at the moment, and apart from the quality he offers on the pitch, he also brings a lot of eyeballs to the team and the league. You can say that Galatasaray are getting returns on their investment both on and off the pitch. Now, another massive evidence of Gala's shrewd recruitment of late is Leroy Sané. In the summer they went and got him without paying single dime in transfer fees. Having won 15 major trophies in his career, Sané was bringing a winning mentality to the team, but he was also bringing his top-tier creativity and ability to open up games on his own. Right now, he leads the league for most big chances created and most dribbles completed. He has also shared in the goal-scoring responsibilities, having scored 6 in 21 league appearances this season. Getting a top player like this, who has all this experience playing at the topmost level and still has so much to give, was a super brilliant move from the club. And mind you, he only just turned 30 a couple months ago, so it's not like they got him at retirement age. But as we name these stars, we cannot forget Barış Asper Yilmaz, who has been at the club since 2021 and has continued to play a major role. He's in the top 10 for most chances created, top 5 for most successful dribbles, and 2nd for most assists in the Super League this season. He has also been very important for the club in Europe. He was one of the reasons Galatasaray didn't get knocked out by Juventus in the playoffs. He was involved in both Gala's goals in the away leg, assisting Osimhen and scoring the settler in the final minute of the game. He's a very special player who continues to be useful in spite of the big names coming in. Now, despite having this scary attack and sitting at the top of the league table, they still weren't satisfied, so they went out and did some more shrewd business in the winter window. They brought in Noah Lang from Napoli, and in his first Champions League game for the club, he bagged 2 goals, justifying the club's decision to go out to get him halfway into the season. They also got Yasser Asprilla on loan from Girona, a young player who's expected to be one for the future. So, as you can see, this Galatasaray squad is actually pretty insane, and it didn't just happen by accident. It is thanks to some careful and intentional planning by the club, and of course, credit also has to go to the coach Okan Buruk, who brings the best out of these players and leads the team to success. Having come up from the Galatasaray Academy and gone on to win multiple trophies as a senior player with the club, including the Europa League, UEFA Super Cup and 7 league titles, you have to say that he is indeed the right man for the job. He understands what the club is really about, knows what the fans want, and can easily put himself in the shoes of the players, having previously been there himself. It all just works. Now, how far do you think this insane Galatasaray squad can go this season? Do you think there are any teams outside Europe's top 5 leagues with a squad that can rival that of Gala? Tell us in the comments. Now, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, turn on the bell notification so you never miss out on new content. Catch you in the next one. Bye.